Hello, you've caught me playing Apex Legends and, surprise, I'm not very good at it.
It's not stopped me trying though, I'm having lots of fun with Apex Legends. It's a tight, snappy, good-looking shooter, everything you'd expect from Respawn basically, and I think I might be hooked. Traditionally, I'm all about single-player RPGs, but there's something about Apex Legends that keeps drawing me back in. Maybe it's the cool music when you land. Maybe it's the fact it's not been out long enough for anyone to be properly amazing at it yet, and so I enter each game with a smidgen of hope.
Or maybe it's because it's possible to win Apex Legends without firing a single shot.
Hey, don't at me, I didn't do it on purpose, I promise, but I was playing the other night and was getting stuck in there, you know, gradually improving, graduating from dying every time I see another person to getting a couple of kills and finishing 9th until I played this one game. There were 2 squads left, Dave and I versus another squad of 2, or so we thought. Dave downed 1, then he went down. I killed the other one, but there was still one more. I scrambled around this crate for a bit, knowing I was one decent shotgun blast from victory, and then
I was gutted. It was by some distance the best match I've played so far, and we were so close.
So during the next game, we all got naturally cautious in response. We'd see an enemy squad in the middle distance, but we wouldn't engage. We pushed quietly into the centre of the ring, minding our own business. We looted and waited, readying ourselves for the inevitable climax. 3 squads left, gunfire is erupting nearby. We're ready, and then silence. My friend ventures out, finds one nearly dead player limping around, finishes them with ease, and then champions!
It was my first ever win in Apex Legends, and also the first game in which I dealt literally 0 damage.
Forget not getting a kill, I don't think I even fired a single shot. Basically, we hid our way to victory, which reminded me of my Fortnite tactics back in the day.
Back in the day.
The best I ever did in Fortnite while playing solo was a 2nd place finish, achieved by literally hiding in a bush the entire time. I stuck to the edge of the storm wall so I never had to look behind me, found the nearest bush and just slowly crept towards the centre. No one bothered looking in bushes because who would be hiding in bushes?
A Metal Gear stealth expert, that's who.
Yeah, who am I kidding? But when you're as unskilled as me at multiplayer battle royale games, sometimes being a coward is the best tactic, and I bet you've done it too. Don't worry, we're not here to judge. Open up in the comments, let it out. We're all friends here.
Here are 6 more jerk ways to win that no one will ever admit to. Apart from me, because I have to admit to them to make this video work.
Number 2 is something I'm not proud of doing, but I do it through necessity because when I'm playing career mode in FIFA, it's winning that's important, not style. So imagine the scenario. It's a big game, maybe a Champions League knockout match, and you're 1-0 up with fewer than 10 minutes left to play. What do?
I'll tell you what I do. Hold on to the ball, and when I say hold on to the ball, I mean shamelessly pass it very slowly between my back 4 and goalkeeper to run the clock down.
Granted, this tactic doesnn't really work against human opponents if you're playing online seasons or something, because they'll hunt you down like wild dogs who haven't eaten for days. But the AI isn't as aggressive as a human who's undoubtedly spitting swear words down their mic at your cheese tactics. I mean, they'll try and win the ball back, of course, but often between your back 4 and keeper, you'll always have a man spare, and so, if you keep your cool, you can run down the clock like a total coward.
Cowardice being the running theme of this video so far.
If you've got a narrow lead with not much time left, just slow things down. There's no need to take risks. Real footballers do it all the time, you know, time wasting, running for the corner flag and just staying there, you know, it's gamesmanship.
Basically, I'm just trying to convince myself that what I do is okay, okay? It is, it's fine.
Number 3 is a classic win tactic I guarantee everyone has done at some point, probably in a fighting game, and that is Button bashing, or button mashing, potato potato. Now, I know it's hard for some of you to admit to, especially if you're like a Tekken Pro or a triple S rank Devil May Cry combo master, but you weren't always that good, were you?
We were all babies once upon a time.
And I bet, in the early days, you notched a few button bashing victories, didn't you? Heck, I've done it live on stage at EGX. I played a bunch of people at Soul Calibur 6 last year, and granted, most of them beat me, but I did win a few matches, and I'll level with you. I remember a few of Killick's moves from when I used to religiously play Soul Calibur 2 back in the day.
Back in the day.
But most of the time I was just pressing the button that made him hit things with the stick and hoping for the best. Here I am, up against Eugene, a proper player.
Eugene beat me.
But I did win this one round against him, and look how I finished it. Spectacular! What you're looking at there is live footage of a man celebrating a win like he knows what the hell he's just done. When in actual fact,
I can't tell you how I did that move. It just sort of came out.
I mean, I've got some skill in Soul Calibur. I'm not this guy. Honestly, shame on you. But yeah, I've won by button bashing. And so have you, just because there isn't footage of you doing it on the internet. Entry 4. Exploiting bosses because you lack the skill to take them on fairly. Now, I often get a lot of stick for this if I'm playing Dark Souls, for instance, and I've got people watching me, but I maintain my method of beating the Taurus demon by climbing up and down this ladder is perfectly fine. It's clever, in fact. I'm using the environment to my advantage.
You have to, don't you? If you're going to call me a cheat for forcing him into a position that's strategically advantageous to me, then you've got to call him a cheat for being massive.
Taurus Demon has the brawn, and I've got the brain. So yeah, I'm going to climb up here, throw down some firebombs, then as soon as he jumps up on the roof, I'm going to climb down again, lure him back to this level, and then repeat the process until he's dead.
Smell the cheese, Taurus Demon. Oh.
And I've done this in Destiny against Nightfall bosses, you know, finding that bit of map they can't quite reach. I've done it in Final Fantasy. I'm thinking especially of that undead boss in Final Fantasy VII you can one-shot kill by chucking an X potion on it.
And I've done it in Metal Gear, changing my PS2's clock settings so that the end dies of old age without me having to fire a single shot.
Although I have also beaten him conventionally, obviously, and with a tranquilizer gun, because as I mentioned before, I am
a Metal Gear stealth expert.
But what I also am is not afraid to admit I will resort to any means necessary to beat a difficult boss. It's not cheating, it's winning smart. I'll tell you what else is winning smart. Entry number 5, camping. That's right, I said it. Come at me, all of you. Sprint and jump and dodge and roll your way up to my cozy tent, pitched high up on Mount Deal with it, as I patiently watch and wait for you all to clumsily stumble your way into my view before, boom, I fire my sniper rifle and probably miss. Look, camping is a tetchy subject, I get it, it's really annoying when you're playing well and you get sniped by the same person over and over, and every time you see their kill cam they haven't moved an inch. But that's the game, isn't it? You know, it's not like they're invincible. Get your stealth on, move in on their position, get your shotgun out. At close range, they don't stand a chance.
Personally, I love a good camp. If I find a spot on the map with a good view of all the other players and lots of cover, why would I relinquish that?
Just to appease players who like to run and gun? I don't think so. I'm trying to win here, not make friends. The fact is, I'm not particularly brilliant at first-person shooter multiplayer games. Whenever I have won matches, it's been because I've played slowly and patiently. Put me in a one-on-one shootout in the middle of the map and 7 times out of 10 I will lose. I know this. I'm just being realistic. And so, to tip the odds in my favour a bit, I like to find a nice spot and, you know, get the marshmallows out.
Deal with it.
Honestly, I think camping is one of those things people complain about only when they're on the receiving end of it. When they're the ones doing it, it's absolutely fine. A point I am perfectly demonstrating in this video. Entry 6 is also relevant to online multiplayer, and that is getting carried to victory by your teammates. We all saw the screenshot of my Apex Legends victory. No damage, no kills. While neither of us covered ourselves in glory during that match, I was absolutely carried to victory by my team. It happened all the time in Destiny 2 as well. I was always a few levels off everyone else, joining in nightfalls with more experienced players and sort of just flapping along behind everyone like a price tag they'd forgotten to cut off their exotic chest piece.
I'd never admit to this, you know, I'd often swagger into work on a Monday morning like...
Looks like somebody completed the Nightfall last night.
Twice.
Which immediately elicits images of me heroically leaping through Cabal fire and blasting my way to skillful victory, reviving my hapless teammates as I drop an exotic dance emote on the boss's grave, yeah! When in reality, me completing the Nightfall with my friends basically looks like this. Our final entry is something we've all done at some point, but I think is the hardest thing to admit. Often you'll just say something along the lines of, yeah, I finished that game, yeah, it was really hard, wasn't it? But I persevered and toughed it out. The truth, however, is far more disturbing.
Toughed it out roughly translates as, it was really hard, so I turned the difficulty down. Well, it exactly translates as that.
I admit it. I did this with Onimusha 3. What a game, by the way. I'd fought all the way to the end on regular difficulty and was really proud of myself. Onimusha 3 is a tough game, but when it got to the final boss fight against Nobunaga, I just could not hack it. In my defense, I'd got here with only one health item left and foolishly had no backup saves, so it was pretty much all or nothing. I must have tried a good 30 times to defeat him. I wanted to be done with the game, and so I turned it down to easy. I did this in Devil May Cry, although much earlier on, opting for easy mode as soon as Phantom handed my cocky ass back to me enough times for the game to sympathetically offer me a less strenuous difficulty level. I completed both Onimusha 3 and Devil May Cry, but I did dial down that toughness in order to do so.
I can't be the only one though. Come on, get in the comments, tell us when you've done it too.
And while you're down there, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our videos, and join us again next week for another Friday feature. Thanks for watching.
For the players.